I always like the preparation, how it's like, yay, we're
It's
on,
there. We are.
yes, with so many, um, computers and iPhones. Hello, everybody. Good evening.
Hi, Louise.
Kalispera. Hi, Asodora. How are you?
I'm great. How are you? Meanwhile, I'm trying to share this. How are you?
Yes, I'm good. It was snowing today in Greece. I mean, in our island, and usually people are, in our mind, when we think about Greece or we perceive Greece, we sense the beach and the sun and this white and blue background. And when the eyes sees all the beauty and the body perceives the white, the glorious snow, which is very unique here. So it's like magic beyond this reality.
Wow.
Yeah. And how are you doing? Where are you in the universe right now? Because we're always in other
Other
places.
places. I'm in Europe at the moment,
Mm.
where it's not snowing. Actually, it's still cold, but it's sunny. So, and I just came out of the desert last week. So yes, I
Oh,
like to move through like different parts,
different
different parts of the
weathers.
earth. Yeah.
Wow. This is so beautiful. So we gathered here today
Yeah.
just to sense and perceive our body and earth and to talk a little bit about it. And also, let's see what else is possible to create here today.
I love that. And thank you so much. I know many months ago we did like a body class in Palestine first, and then we did one in Israel. And then I was like, oh, something is popping to create in Greece. And so that's how we started having a conversation about actually creating
Yes,
something on Paros, or when you showed
yes.
me the earth there and when you showed me some pictures and some videos and the way you choose to live there, I was like, wow, I would love to create a body class there and to actually bring people from all over the world there.
Yeah, it's actually my body chose to be here. If we're talking about bodies, my body is so relaxed here and has such a different perception of being when I'm here in this island. So it creates something totally different.
And have you seen that also like influencing like your business and like any part of your life, how you be in that?
For sure, we'll talk about it. Just tell me, did you share in Access Europe or should I
Did.
share?
I did. I
Okay,
did
some
share it.
technical things. Okay, great, great, great. Amazing. And of course, if you are here, let us know that you are here. We would love to know, where are you watching us from? How is your body today? Have you been in Greece before? Would you like to pull some energy from this beautiful island that I live in?
We are.
Yeah.
I've just checked.
Great. So yeah, like living in the Middle East is a lot of time very stressful. Not always, a lot of time. And my body, every time that I was facilitating in Greece, and every time that I facilitated here in Paros in the last 10 years, my body was getting really like a different space. And after a while, I'm like, wouldn't it be so cool to be able to live here all year round? Yeah. And my husband loved it here. So we bought a land, we built a house here, and we're just crazy about this place and the space.
I love
And
how you chose this place, like according to where your body actually felt better. Um, it's really it has been interesting, like to see also like when you travel a lot. I know you've traveled also like quite a bit, like how bodies actually adjust to the space around them or the space they move through, and like I wonder for how many of us, like when you are in places where nature is so strongly present, like how much does your body just feels better?
yes, Yes. And what if our body actually, he tells us all the time where he feels better. Even my hair looks different when I'm here. It's all the little things.
Yeah. Well, I have to say, like, also, like, it's interesting how my body like tends to adjust its shape according to where I am. So also to the people that are there, but also like the minute I land, often like I can perceive that my body is different. And it took me a while before I got like stop judging, because sometimes my body would just like increase in size or get like more like longer or shorter. And it took me like quite a bit of years before I actually got, oh, it's our abilities of our bodies to adjust to the environment. As long as you don't have any judgments about that, what else can your body show you? And like if you're gonna start judging it, how much will your body have to start locking in those points of views? And then like, oh, like, because with the Middle East, for example, like very often like I'll kind of like grow a bit like in size, so I'll get a little like wider or fatter or however you want to call it.
Like, really, who wouldn't?
Yeah. And it's like it took me like quite some time. I think like only 2 years ago I suddenly realized like, oh, but it's very interesting because like when I looked in the mirror yesterday and now I'm just like one day away from home, I didn't necessarily eat differently or do anything differently. I just took the plane and I landed on a different part on Earth. And now the shape changed, that I realized, oh, what is my body aware of? What is my body showing me? And am I willing to receive that?
Totally. It's really like a superpower, isn't it? Of our bodies.
Yeah.
And people were asking me, what do you mean by the power of body and earth? So maybe for us, it's like really, well, of course, let's talk about it a little bit and invite people into this universe of the special power that our bodies and earth has together and with each other.
Yeah. Well, like when you ask and when you say that, like one of the things came up for me that when like over the last 3 years when the whole isolation story started and like bodies getting sick, I remember in the very beginning of that whole state that I was like, it was like a different level of trust that was asked for my body, and I could not find that in humanity. So it was an interesting period to start looking, as I'm like a 3-day body class facilitator for so many years. I've been working with so many bodies. And so I had these moments where I would literally lay on the floor and be like, body, are we dying? Because like I started having these breathing issues and all this kind of things showing up. And so after a few days, I just realized like I have to stop searching for what my body can be through humanity. What if I start to look and ask nature? And so I would literally sometimes sit against or in front of a tree and ask it, what do you know about bodies? If I would work on bodies like I would work on a tree, how would I actually touch a body? What would I be aware of? What can the earth show me? And that has been like an exploration, I think that like of 6 months where I would do it practically daily. And so many different awarenesses came after that when I started working with bodies again.
This is so beautiful. And it's out there. Like we are on Earth. Like we see Earth every day. We connect to Earth. Even if we don't see it, we perceive it. And so many times, so many people just forget this amazing power that we can, tap into even now. Like even right now when you're watching us and, what would it take just to include your body and tap into the energy of Earth and the body and our conversation? Like, would something change if you do that?
That's like the thing also when like I think a lot of people that find access have this sense of something is wrong with me or I'm so different. I don't know where I could fit. And so that's been a thing. I don't know how that was for you with your body, but for many, many, many years, I could not make sense of any of the things I was supposed to do with my body. And although I have a great body, I would judge it a lot. Although like a lot of people would judge it positively, until I actually run into Access and started doing those body classes, like that was where I started to realize, like, wow, but like, what if my body is more like a tree than it is like any person on the planet?
Wow. Wow. This is amazing. Wow.
So touch started to shift, because like for many years when people would touch me, like my body would just hurt till the point that I would cry. I would not know anymore, like, is it that I don't like people touching me? But it was more like that whole doing part of touch that was simply not working.
Hmm. So interesting. Wow.
And so with that, like, I think the power of the earth is also that it's willing to gift and receive no matter what. And that's the thing I've seen myself, but also many of us, like stopping gifting and receiving because something was done to us. And so how much of our power we've been giving up to avoid that, rather than actually exponentialize the gifts that our bodies and we are.
Yes. You know, the other day, so my husband and I, we went to just to sit on a land, a beautiful land that we bought. It's like 20 minutes from our house, and it's on a mountain, and it's overlooking the sea. And we just bought it. Actually, the land asked us to buy it. Perceived it in our body. We went there, we saw few lands, and in this land, we were like, ah. So after we bought it, after we signed the contract, we kind of went there, you know, just to connect, to tap into the energy of this land, to ask the land, what is it that she desires that we will co-create together? And we kind of lied down there on the earth. I mean, all of us know the sensation when your body is just relaxing on the land. And we fell asleep, both of us, which it doesn't happen to me usually. It was very quick, like in no time, we fell asleep just for a few minutes. And when we woke up, I asked my husband, what did you perceive? Like, what did the land tell you? And he told me that the land told him, let go, let go. And I was like, wow, interesting, because I sensed in my body the relaxation. So this was like a perceiving, very precious moment that happens in many places. But it's the first time that I perceived it in a land that we bought and had no idea what to do with it. Like, it has beautiful trees, and it has a vineyard, and it has beautiful old ancient olive trees, like Greek trees. And when we opened our bodies to perceiving and to connecting and to co-creation with the land just very clearly told us, you know, I don't want any buildings here, like no buildings. And we were like, okay. And then our bodies, we felt like we were expanding even more. So it's just like a little, it's not a little, I keep saying little, but I don't mean little, you know, like it's like those moments. Yeah, the whispers of consciousness and of earth with our bodies. And exactly like you say, if we only allow it and open to receive and perceive it, wow, so much magic can occur.
That like, it's almost like this willingness to be owned by the land. And like what a lot of us have learned to do differently, we own land because that's what we sign off on papers, but like how much of the land that we own actually owns us? And if we'd have the willingness to listen, would make everything so much better. and our bodies will feel so much better. And it's interesting how we get to this topic, because like a lot of the house clearing topics, for example, in Talk to the Entities, is often also about starting to look at where have land been abused. Like, you know, we would look at each other. If I do something to you that you don't want me to do to you, that would definitely these days be like said, like, you're abusing me. But then when it comes to land, like, how much is that just what we do? And we don't even think about it. We just do what we want to land rather than ask it and listen and allow it to give to us and our bodies.
Yes, yes. And also, you know, sometimes we consider our body as our home. Our primary home is our body. Like, how do we treat our body? How do we treat Earth? And I was thinking about it, like when people ask you, so how is it? Like, what do you do? Of course, we don't do it, yeah? But what do you do? How do I connect? How do I perceive the power of body and Earth? What would you tell them, like, to the people that are asking that?
One of the big realizations for me was like, we are connected to the earth, not because we walk on it, but basically because we're made of the same materials. And that was something I had not learned, for example, in biology lessons or all those kind of things. Like, you know, there is no difference between what our bodies are made of as what any earth element is made of. And so it took me a while when I heard that for the first time to actually starting to get that, like, oh, it's not just a concept or like a spiritual like mindset or whatever. No, that's just physics. It's just science. And so once I started to get that more, it started also to change like the perception of like, oh, I need to do a whole lot of things to be connected to the earth. What if we could start to acknowledge what we actually are and what we're made of? So that's for me, like, are you willing to start to look at what you're made of and what you made your body of? So it can start to transform to that belief system. Like, you know, if you think only about like that your body isn't connected to the earth, how much effort is it going to take to actually connect yourself to something you're already connected to? And that's one of the powers, I think, of the body classes also, is that people start to naturally be connected. It's not even like we're going to teach you how to connect or you're going to like teach yourself something. No, it's just occurring in those classes during 3 days, laying on a massage table, being suddenly that space of communion where you don't even know how you got there, but it just is. And you cannot explain it to anyone. It's just, you become this breathing.
Sure.
This breathing space, which like is so much more relaxed, so much more receiving, and so much more connected to everything.
Yeah, it's the being space. It is that, which there are no words to explain. You just experience it, you be it, while receiving these amazing, amazing body processes. You know, I'll tell you something that not so many people know about me, and now all of you will know.
Everybody knows.
Yeah, we'll know soon that in the first time that I was introduced to body class, I had a lot of resistance to it. I was the host of Dr. Casey Chris for foundation class, and she did a foundation class and then a body class, like back to back. In Israel, it was quite, I don't remember how many years ago it was. Okay, and I told her, yeah, foundation, I'm really into foundation. Body class, I don't know. I wasn't so connected to my body. Like, my body was a thing. Yeah, I was sometimes bigger, smaller, I don't know. It was just there. And it happened that something occurred, and I was chosen to be also the host of the body class, which I did not plan. So I said, oh, body, you're so smart, and you brought me to this body class that really changed my life. Because after this body class, I started dancing, and now I cannot see my life without dancing. Like, I'm a dancing person. Yeah, like I cannot imagine, I cannot even remember, you know, in the regular memory.
Yeah.
How did they live without dancing? Like, you know, not dancing in the party, like dancing.
Yeah.
It's a part of my everyday life, and how my body shifted and transformed after the first body class and after the second and the third and the 10th and the I don't know how many, yeah?
Yeah.
And now, like when you're arriving to Paros, to Greece, for me, it's such a big gift. I feel that, you know, this island has a magic to gift to people. I see it in their eyes. The people that are arriving here, everyone that arrives here becomes a different space. So I'm just wondering, it's the first body class in Paros. Yes, and I am wondering, like, what can this create to our bodies and to the island itself? And I mean, we've done many body processes here, but not as a body class.
Not as a 3-day, which is like a little, like it is different. It's a very different space to be 3 days into that space of relaxing more. I have to honestly say, like the first time I took one, I was really like, I was so far away from that relaxation that I would like constantly create stuff like to get me out of that space, more space. And then once I started to realize like, yeah, but like we have abilities with our bodies. Why not discover what they are? It became about this discovery of always discovering more rather than becoming a right body worker or somebody who's able to do something with or two bodies. It's more about discovering like what else can these organisms like be, do, create, change, heal, transform that we have no clue of yet.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
With this earth, like with the Earth of Greece also, I'm really curious because it always creates this very different like vibration where like topics will come up, where different people will start showing up, always like contributing something and having some similarities that they then find out like 3 days later, oh my God, did you like, which is inexplainable and magical.
Yeah, you know that the locals here, they say that those who cannot receive like the good, receive more, they don't show up here in Paros.
Ooh,
yeah.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and I can perceive that. So I'm really curious, like, are we willing to receive more with our bodies, with Earth? The Earth here, the land here in Greece is, yeah, I mean, every place the Earth is vibrating and beautiful. I love the Middle East. I love Europe. I love United States lands and canyons. Here, for me, I mean,
Different.
It's so different. I've never been in a place that I perceived such a space of the here and now. The time here is different. I think the first time that I saw here women that are large women, yeah, walking with these tiny bikinis so happily and proud. And for me, this island was like the non-judgment island. Yeah. And different islands do it, yeah, and different earth, like pieces of land.
You won't make it if you don't receive.
No. So how much are you willing to receive?
Wow.
Yeah.
And I wonder in how many, like now that you say that, wow, in how many places that's actually exactly what, like the earth is so demanding. And also like what I see, like a lot of the nature spirits might, like there's sometimes, or also other spirits are very demanding in some places of like, if you're going to be here, it's going to be our way, not your way.
Yes.
And I think that's very interesting when you start to get that some places on earth are really about not having it your way, but starting to be the guest and receive the gifts that are being offered.
Yes. And I wonder, like, you know, if the all of you who are watching us now or in the future, like if you can share with us and write, because for me, it's like if you could sit here now in my living room or in Yazadora's place now, we would have this chat face to face. So with the technology that we have, if you can write in the chat, like in which place around the universe did you have this sensation or perceiving of total space, of non-judgment, of infinite possibilities that you truly be? And for some people, it's many places, and for some people, it's a special place. And for some people, they can tap into the energy of, everywhere and just be this energy. I'm very curious about how do people perceive it. What's your place of space, like when you tap into the energy of...
Last year, I went to... That was the first time I had like such a strong experience like in nature. I went to La Réunion Island, which is under Africa. And like they took me to what was called the magical forest. And I had no idea where we were going. I was just like, yeah, let's go there, have a free day. And so what happened in the middle of the forest was that like people take off their shoes and then they just go on. So the shoes stay there and then they go on through the forest. But it's almost like very few men come there. And then if they come there, you stay almost all the time on the big roads. So at a certain point, we also had like an army officer, an ex-army officer, Navy officer, who like had like this, like he had this ribbon stuff with him. Like, so he started to pull like ribbons in the trees. I was like, what are you doing? It's like, well, can't you see nobody has walked here? So if we want to get back out, you'll have to tag. So that was like the first point where I was like, oh, that's different. I've never had that in a forest. Could you get lost? Could you get lost? Like we got Google Maps and it was like, yeah, you got Google Maps until you don't have Google Maps. And I was like, oh, okay. And so then we started going in that forest. And I remember that at a certain point, we stopped walking and I just asked the people that I was with, like, can we just stay here for a bit? And for about 30 minutes to an hour, I just laid there in the forest. And for 2 weeks after that, my body didn't require to eat food.
Wow.
Which was the first time I experienced that, being nurtured and nourished with energy through earth. And then also how my mind would go into like, can we have a burger? Can we have this? Can we have that? And my body would just be like, if you do that, I swear to God, I will make you so sick. And so that was the first time I think ever in my life where I experienced how our bodies require energy, not necessarily in the form of food, also not as a like radical not having food, but how in some places allowing your body to be with the earth will kind of change every molecule. And that was a gift that, changed so much. And so that's really what, like, I'm really curious to have more of that, like on other places. My body loves being in the desert, but that forest was something like really something different. Like I had never experienced that. What's that for you? Like, where do you
I think that the first time that I sensed something like this was in Sinai. Like we went on vacation there, and I don't know, just the infinite sea and the silence and the no time, no space. My body immediately, like, I felt the most beautiful young woman that I was there. I felt so spacious. And it was way before I knew access. I knew other, modalities, but I could sense that something in the space there was showing me something different, how to be different with my body, with myself. And after 2 days, I became really sick. My body wanted to change something, but it went away after another day. And my body never went back, because we say we don't go back, we always go forward. Yeah, so it never went back to what it used to be before Sinai regarding everything, food and everything.
Yeah.
And then the second place was just above Boulder in the United States, in Colorado. In a snowy mountains, beautiful, beautiful place. We went there, 16 women, Israeli, Palestinians, just to experience 10 days of working together, energy work, and rituals that we did together many years ago. And I arrived there and my body started crying. And it was the first time that I felt that the body is crying. Tears of joy and unity. I was not sad. It was just, I was so touched by this land. It felt as if the land is spewing softness and kindness. And like I felt hugged there. And after that, many years in my dreams, I would go back there to this land. I would visit it in my dreams. And then, first time that I met Paros, this island, this land, I felt I knew it, that I always knew this place, many lifetimes, maybe, I don't know. And I felt it's like my Sinai, like a bit upgraded Sinai or something like that. But I could see how my body is reacting in a similar way to the spaciousness that I felt in Sinai. And
I can sense when you talk about it.
Yeah, right? I go like to a different zone. And whenever we go everywhere, we could be in the most luxurious hotel in Mykonos, or in like this beautiful chateau somewhere. And after a few days, Boaz, my husband, and I will look at each other and like, we miss home, right? Okay, let's go home. There is something here that, and we're so grateful that we listen to our bodies. And both of us, what you say about getting bigger, smaller, both of us, we gained quite a lot of weight here. And we're so happy. Like the body feels great. I don't care if I'm, larger, smaller in size. Just the space.
Yeah. Like some places on earth really have this space for you, where judgment is like not relevant.
No. So not relevant and such a waste of time instead of just creating more. I'm in such a space now that I feel like my cat here that is purring and she's like
yeah. Wow, I'm super excited to be there soon. It's still a few months to go. I'll go like race around the Middle East a bit more before I actually land on Paros. So
yeah, we can't wait. Yeah, actually, I'm going to be also in the Middle East before Paros again.
Yes.
Yeah, and what else is possible for our bodies and for Earth, for body classes all over the world?
Yeah. And I think that's the beauty also, like if you ask your body like where can we learn and when is that, like your body will start guiding you to maybe all in like illogical. I remember my first advanced class that I took with Gary. It was like, I think it was like Stockholm in the middle of the winter, and I was sleeping in this hotel somewhere, and I remember on the second day I just woke up without looking at my alarm. I just took a shower, I dressed, and I went into the city and everything was closed. And it was like, how come everything is closed? It's like a big city. And so I would look at the bakery and it would open at 7, I think, and it wasn't open. The guy was inside, and I was like, "Why aren't you open?" And then the guy's like, "Cause it's not 7." And I was like, "What? Like, what happened?" And it was like 6 something, and I was like, "Oh, this is literally like my body just like really ready for this next choice for class."
Yes.
What is your body asking? And like, where must you be to actually receive that information?
Yeah. How did we get so lucky to have all these body classes all over? Wow.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah. And actually, after our class, also, there will be, I don't have like more details yet, but there will also be an advanced body class somewhere in Europe. So if you're going to do a little Europe tour, yeah. What
Come
else?
over.
Where else? Yeah.
Yeah, and if your body does desire to join us in Greece or anywhere else, just let us know. We can assist with all the accommodation and, let your body choose where it likes to be.
Oh, sorry.
You're looking at the comments.
Yeah. Somebody is saying like specific place in British Columbia.
Have never been there, but I heard that it's so beautiful in British Columbia. Wow. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So you're welcome to share more. We will read the comments even when the live is done.
Yeah.
Yeah. The
Thank
beauty
you so
of
much.
life that it's always there. Thank you for coming into my living room.
Yes. Very soon.
Very soon. I can't wait. Really, I can't wait. Like for me, I would do a body class every month.
Yeah.
Like participating. My body desires it. So okay, love. Wow. Thank you. And thank you everyone.
And enjoy the snow for the moment.
Yeah, it's snowing. I'm going to see some more snow tomorrow. So kisses.
Bye.
And good night. Bye bye. Bye everyone.
Bye.